Welcome to Dropping Diamonds with me, AJ Andrews, where we dive headfirst into the world of softball. Joining me today is a superstar amongst superstars. She's a 4-time All-American. She's a 4-time NCAA softball champion, and she is playing infield for the AUSL Volts. It is none other than the illustrious, the amazing, the one and the only, Tiare Jennings.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And just have me bring me everywhere so I can just introduce you as you walk into rooms. This is Tiare. This is Tiare.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Well, when we talk about greatness, I'd like to start everything with a affirmation because it's hard to be great if you are not affirming yourself that you are great.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the quotes I wanted to start with was, real leadership is about transforming potential into possibilities. And I thought of affirmation to bring from that is, my potential is endless. I can achieve it all. My ceilings of possibilities is completely my call. I love a good rhyme.
I love that. That's so cool.
Do you have a favorite quote or affirmation you kind of live by?
Not really. I mean, there's this totally simple one that Coach Gass always just saying is just never settling. And I just take that with me in life and just always remember that, the sky's the limit and continue to break glass ceilings. I mean, I've always learned that at OU and kind of taken in my pro career and just in life in general, that I could do anything as the sky's the limit and there's no boundary, there's no limit that I can go. I can keep going further and further as long as I have my faith in front of me and I can just keep going.
Well, you are living proof that the sky is the limit. The impossible is nothing more than a dare. It's not a declaration, that word. When it comes to making history of a 4-peat, you being able to be a part of that all 4 times, what makes not just you, but obviously Oklahoma Dynasty turn the impossible to possible?
It's, so unbelievable just kind of hearing it still. And I'm like, wow, like I actually did that.
Yeah.
We actually did that. It's just so crazy hearing it. But I'm just not surprised. It just all comes from the culture that Coach Gass and her staff brings. Every year we didn't talk about, a 2-peat, a 3-peat, a 4-peat. So that was just the greatest thing, is that we never talked about it. And I think that was so cool, is we obviously thought about it, like we brought it up like in our own internally minds, but like as a staff and as our team meetings, that was never brought up. And that was never our intention. Our intention was just to have fun and play free. And I feel like it's so cliche to say, like you hear that all the time, but that's what truly is what we did. And go out there and play for something bigger than yourself. And I think for me, it was my faith that I stood by. None of this is possible without God, and I take that full-heartedly, but also just seeing my family in the stands and all the sacrifices they made for me. And so I knew that when I'm out on the field playing for a national championship every year, that I knew it was something greater. And I knew that what I was playing for and what our whole team was playing for was something bigger than just Oklahoma. And I think that was the best part. I think that's what makes Oklahoma stand on top, is just playing for something more. And we know that softball doesn't define who we are.
I read that you were talking about how you learned one of the biggest lessons you've learned in your life is that softball does not define you,
Mm-hmm.
and that you are more than that. When did you come to a realization of, I am Tiare the this, Tiare the that,
Mm-hmm.
not just Tiare the softball player?
Luckily, my freshman year. And that was so great that I had seniors who treated me as a sister from day one. And going through my freshman year was COVID. So we couldn't really spend a lot of time together. We were wearing masks and couldn't see each other or like non-contact.
Oh, this is your face.
Yes. I'm like, hi, hello. But once like that kind of went away, COVID kind of went away, we all finally got together. And thankfully the seniors taught me that from day one. And I was so lucky for them. Like Nicole Mendez was with me, and I know she was the one person, obviously having Jocelyn Allo and all these people, Grace Lyons, just all these veterans around me teaching me that from the start. And they weren't teaching me, softball skills or like, this is how you field the ball. It's about life lessons. And that's what I love about OU and their program, is how everybody's so connected. But thankfully I learned that from the start. I think that just helped me grow my whole 4 years, because I couldn't imagine not learning that and trying to go through those trials from the beginning.
I imagine it would give a sense of ease, because your freshman year, there's a lot of times you can feel pressure.
Yes.
Right. I want to make this team. I want to be a starter.
Yes.
What can I do to do that? But then when you have teammates or even a culture that's like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's
like,
really not
let's
that
just go play.
serious.
Yeah.
It's a yellow ball.
Play. Yeah. Just go play.
For sure.
It just takes that away. And for you play that way. Like when watching you play, it just seems like you're up to play and it's like, you're going to get a hit. Yeah. And even if you don't, though, you'll be fine.
Right.
Like I enjoy getting good hits. So I'm going to go do what I can. But to be able to do it and do it so well and so consistently to where you are the third on the list of all-time home runs. I mean, you have 98. A girl can dream to have 58. 38.
Right.
We won't go lower than that. Maybe I had 38. But for you, when you step into the box, what is your mentality? What do you tell yourself before you go hit?
Clear-minded. I think I'm at my best when I'm like really clear. I think just knowing no matter what team I've played for, I've been so lucky to have a stellar lineup with the Volts, with OU, just everywhere I've played. So I know that the pressure takes it off of me because I have such a stacked lineup 1 through 9, and even our bench can play anywhere. So I mean, it kind of just took the weight off my shoulders knowing that even if I fail, the next person's going to have my back. So I think what you're talking about is how just being consistent and not letting the game get to your head. It could be so hard because it's a game of failure. But just knowing in college, I had, Jocelyn Allo behind me, or in front of me. So like, I'm like, what could I possibly do wrong? Because I have her behind me who's going to hit a home run anyway. And then I just kind of just take their success as a part of mine. And so even if I go 0 for 4, but some of my teammates go 4 for 4 and we won, that's all that matters. And I think knowing that, and that kind of makes me play free. But when I'm just in the box, it's clear-minded, hit the ball hard, and the end's already written. So at that point, there's nothing else that I can do.
Sam Landry, I talked to her earlier today, and she told me that is what Coach Gasso says as she brought her to the office and said the end's already written, and how that gave her so much relief. Is that something that you've really held on to from Coach Gasso? And if so, what else has she told you or lessons you've learned?
She's taught me so much, but definitely the end is already written has been a motto from Coach Gasso. And just knowing when you're going through that 4-peat, especially for me, and if Sam had a different season this last year, but for her too as well, championships end. And, they're fun and they're great to win. The next day, you live another day, and it's just another normal day. So championships are great, but that's not all what it is. And I think for me, the end is already written, just is meaning enjoy spending time with your teammates and those relationships and those coaches, because that lasts forever. And the championships do last forever, but the memories that come with it is what holds more to me. And I feel like knowing that throughout the whole entire college season, that the end was already written, I knew that I wasn't playing really for a championship, that I was playing the last game with my teammates, my last seniors, and trying to get all of them and all the information from everyone together. And I just think that's kind of what the end is already written means. And I kind of take that now as like, with the Volts, our record might not be great, but the end is already written and we're going to keep playing and we have nothing to lose. So, I mean, every year of playing my career, I could always say the end is already written. So it just kind of lets me smile, play free out there, and kind of just really, really cherish the moments with my team.
The end is already written. What else? What's your favorite Patty Gasso story or moment where she's brought you aside and has allowed Tiare to be Tiare?
Gosh, there's so many. I think there's a time during my senior weekend. I take really a lot of pride in my Polynesian culture, being Samoan, and we had a ceremony in the beginning of my senior day where we had a Polynesian group come and do a cultural dance on the field at Love's Field, and it was super cool because there's many Polynesian softball players that came through OU. So Coach has a very close relationship with all of us, and she takes in the culture with so much pride and love. And seeing her, after that ceremony was for me, and I ran straight to Coach and just bawled in her eyes before the game. And we just took in that moment because she loves you so much, just for more than as a softball player. And you can tell that moment hit her hard too. And we kind of shared that moment together. So being able to share our cultures, our backgrounds, and she takes us all in for who you are. And we're a very faith-based group, but she lets us know that you don't have to be, and she's going to love you for who you are. So yes, most of us are faith-based, and that comes from my culture, but not everybody has to be. And that's one thing I love is she tells us all the time. She goes, I don't care who you are on the field. Like, I want you to be the best as you can be, but I care about you more off the field and who you are as a person, who you are as a teammate. And I just take that with so much heart because she just loves us for who we are.
You talked about in a video I watched of you where leadership is about those relationships. And so to me, it sounds like that's why she's been such a great leader for Oklahoma and the Oklahoma staff, the relationships that she's built.
For sure.
And as a player, your relationship with yourself is extremely important for you to have the success that you have. What do you tell yourself in moments of adversity in order to continue to prevail and to see the success that you've had?
Stay together with my team. I don't do great when I'm alone and I feel alone. And, after a bad game, you easily can get mad at yourself, but you can easily, go in your room and just kind of lock yourself up. But in moments where I feel that way, I need to be with my girls. I need hey, let's go to dinner. Let's go to not do something softball related. Let's go, this game doesn't define you. So let's go have some fun. Let's go bowling. Let's go just do something as a team. And I think for me, I do better when I'm around others and others who are like-minded like me. I think Coach Gastel's always said that. It's go find your people and go find your inner circle. And then I go to those people for help and kind of get me back on track. And I think that's what gets me out of my shell, is being surrounded by other people who not only love the game, but who are like-minded like me as well.
I love that, because the mental part is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you do physically as far as a drill or hitting wise to kind of get yourself back on track?
I think for me, just getting on the team, putting some good music on, just spending that day in the cage. If I'm not feeling it, hey, just reset. I mean, you're going to have to reset after every at bat, no matter if it's good or bad anyway. So for me, if I'm not feeling that confident, I just go back to the basics and go back to who I was when I was a little girl, finding that love for the game again, when I was 8 years old playing, whatever, but just kind of finding my why, my purpose mentally, and why am I playing this game in the first place? So definitely go back to those moments and then go back to the basics on drill work and tee and just having some fun, putting some good music on.
That's how you hit 98 home runs. So for me to get there and you get on the tee, play some good music.
Go back to the basics.
Go
for
back
sure,
to this.
yeah.
Okay. I'll blow you out right now. Sorry. I'd love to get 98.
You're right.
Well, when I'm going to go into the no-fly zone, because it is so fun to turn the field into a no-fly zone.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite play that you've ever made?
I would say I just love turning double plays. I don't think I have a favorite, but Coach Gastel always says defense wins championship. So as much as I love hitting 98 home runs, I love playing defense most. And it's very shocking, I think, she always says to hear people say that, but I love defense. I love playing behind my pitchers. I love watching outfielders, no-fly zone. I love watching Jada Coleman rob home runs in college. So I definitely love being on defense more. I love celebrating on defense. I love turning double plays.
One of my favorite quotes is offense sells tickets, but defense wins games.
Yep.
You
100%.
gotta have the great defense in order to make it happen.
100%.
What would you say is probably your favorite memory playing softball?
Favorite memory playing softball? I would say definitely all the national championships.
Yeah.
All of them. And I think I remember all of them like it was yesterday, and just...
There's not one that sticks out more than the other?
I don't think so. I think if anything, the 4-peat, just because who does that?
Right.
And that was
who does that?
That was the most emotional, I think, year that we've all had, just because we knew we were going for it, but it wasn't talked about. But you just feel the emotions building up. And then when we finally did it, it was wow, we just let it all out. We just let all of our emotions out, and knowing that was our last ride. So I think the 4-peat for sure.
Could you believe it when it happened?
No. I mean, I couldn't. And the best part was just the girls that I went in with, Jada and Nicole May, just Alyssa Brito, just knowing those girls I went in with. I knew of Alyssa Brito since I was 8. So, where it was just a full circle moment coming in with them, winning 4. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Literally unbelievable.
Literally unbelievable.
Well, Tiare, in the game of softball, failure is inevitable. And it's oftentimes something we try to avoid, but it really is what leads us to our biggest success.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite failure that's ultimately led you to some of your best successes?
Probably at the plate, when those 0 for 20 days happen, it's okay, well, you can't do any worse. You really can't do any worse.
You had an 0 for 20 day?
Yeah, maybe 1 for 20,
okay.
I think.
Yeah, you have that in there.
Yeah, maybe one.
She got one.
Maybe 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But those days where I feel like I was going 2 for 20 or whatever the stats were, I'm okay, I really can't do any worse. I really don't know what I'm doing at the plate. I don't know what I'm seeing. And I'm I got to remember, it's going to be like that sometimes. And you're not going to know what your body's feeling that day and all those things. And that's when I really hold, using my other teammates as success, because I'm clearly not getting any of my own, but we're winning. So, I'm hey, a win is a win.
A win is a win.
So I really take those small wins to heart because I'm like, okay, I needed that. I don't care if it was an out, it was a hard hit ball, and we won. So that's all that matters. But I feel like, I think it was Oklahoma State my senior weekend, which was crazy because as the best moment of my life, my senior weekend with Coach Gasso, didn't even do great at the plate all weekend long. So I was like, you know what? I think that's so great about softball is you can absolutely suck, but you can have some of the best moments outside. And that's what I think got me out of that slump that entire weekend. And then coach pulled me aside, was like, okay, I need to see, like, look at your face during that. You did not look happy. I was like, yeah, I did not look happy on that softball field, but look at me with you before the game and look how happy I was. So I'm like, those moments don't define who I was. And I think I take pride and try not to show it as much. So that was definitely a learning process for me too, is like, dang, you could really see it on TV where I did not look happy, but I'm like, Coach, I promise. I was having the time of my life like that weekend. And I was, we didn't even win the series, and I was having the time of my life. So I think just knowing that the softball moments don't define who you are and when you're failing, and you can't do worse. You always got to just keep swinging.
Just keep swinging.
Just keep swinging.
Just keep swinging. Just keep swinging.
I mean, I learned that against Nigel Kennedy, the Stanford game on my birthday. It was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and had a game-winning hit. I'm like, love that.
Just keep swinging.
Just keep swinging. 0-2 count too.
Would that be the advice you would give to young athletes? Just keep swinging?
Just keep swinging. I mean, things can change in an instant, and all you need is one pitch when you're hitting. So,
and I love that we say all you need is one, because you can use that in life as well.
Yes.
Not just the pitch, but
for sure,
one opportunity.
One opportunity. All you need is one new day to restart and start over. So,
Tiare, I know your mom, Maria, every time she was home, she would make you a signature breakfast bagel to help fuel you, which had 2 eggs, bacon in a frying pan, and toasted bagel. Layered with cream cheese, eggs, grated sharp cheddar cheese, 4 slices of bacon. Is she still giving you, is that still your game day meal?
She is here today.
And so that's your game day meal?
Waiting for me at the hotel. 100%. And I texted my group chat with Amanda and Sis, and I'm like, hey, my mom's in town, so you know what that means. And so they're coming over as well. So yeah, that's right.
We're having the bagel.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you hit 98 home runs. That is how you have the Women's College World Series career record for most RBIs at 29.
Yep.
And that is how you continue to perform as an AUSL Volt. Tiare, thank you so much for joining me on Dropping Diamonds and dropping your diamonds.
I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We'll catch you guys all here back next week on The Diamond. Bye for now.